projects in the Midwest region and in Limerick City and County that need investment, like the new road to Fines, like the Adair bypass, like the relocation of the maternity hospital onto the campus of the University Hospital Limerick, and crossing the Shannon up near Killaloo. All these are important projects to continue the growth of the Midwest. But the schools are important as well. Like locally here now, Crescent College is going to be rebuilt. St. Paul's Primary School is going to be rebuilt. They should be starting before the end of this year. So we're very pleased that there's both investment in social infrastructure and economic infrastructure, because they raise living standards for the community, but as well as that they increase the growth of the economy.
What about this comment today in the media about this reserve fund that you've mentioned, this fund that's there to help? Where's it coming from and how will that be funded?
Well, since last April when we brought out the spring statement, we have been projecting how the economy will grow between now and 2021. And we're working on an assumption of growth rates of between 3 and 3.5%. Now that's significantly below what the central bank predicted last week, so the forecasts are quite modest. Now a growing economy throws up extra resources, extra VAT, extra income tax, extra excise and so on. And we're saying that as we profile the extra amounts of money at the disposal of the next government, we're not going to spend it all, because there could be shocks. We know that there are external risks now and there are some internal risks. So rather than committing to spend everything, we want to put about a quarter of what's available aside, as was described in the paper this morning, a rainy day fund that we can deploy as events develop. So sometimes if the economy is growing stronger than we expected, we might use it to run a surplus in the economy and not spend it. On the other hand, if we hit a bad patch and the growth rates are less than we expected and we have less resource than we expected, we could use it for a short period to supplement spending. Now, first of all, it's not a wish list. This is the capital programme as announced earlier in the year. It's fully costed and the resources are allocated to it. So everything that was mentioned there this morning and everything shown in the video is going to happen. So it's not a wish list. Secondly, the road to Cork, the estimated cost of that is 800 million, and that's more than what's in the capital programme as a whole for roads. So to take the whole lot and a bit with it, so we just couldn't afford it. But it's a very desirable project, and we'll be hoping to reconsider it when, as I said this morning, we review the capital programme in 2 years' time in the light of the increasing resources which we don't expect. Well, Stephen Donnelly is a poor attender in the Dáil, and he doesn't attend committees, so he doesn't have a full picture of what goes on quite frequently. What I said in the Dáil, I said again when I gave 4 hours of evidence before the banking inquiry. Mr. Trichet did not threaten me, but if Mr. Trichet, as he did say, said a bomb will go off in Dublin, that's a prediction. If on the other hand Mr. Trichet said that the European Central Bank will make sure the bomb goes off in Dublin, that's a threat. But it was the first thing he said, and he was predicting that if we won the bomb tenders, that the international markets would react in a way which would be of high risk to Ireland, high risk to the financial services industry in Dublin, high risk to the ability of the bank to give us ELA. But he made no specific threat to me. On the other hand, I did see correspondence where he seemed to be threatening Brian Lenihan with pulling back emergency liquidity assistance to the banks if the bonds were burned back in 2010. And I presume it was that caused the Committee of Inquiry to say that he threatened, but he didn't threaten me.